YugiTube, Sayers13 here. I'm doing this video for a friend of mine here on YouTube. Friend of yours as well. Most of you are subscribed to him as well. His name's BeginTheUprising, or David as you know him also. He hasn't been around much lately. There's a good reason as to why. Partially because his computer kind of crapped out and his camera kind of crapped out. So, without further ado, I will read to you what he has posted on his Facebook page. He has asked me to do this. This video will be posted on my channel as well as his channel, so that all the people that he knows or that we both know will know what's happening. Okay? It's a long story. I'll do my best to read it. Anyways, you'll understand after you hear this, okay? On February 21st of this year, my father was admitted to Memorial Hospital. The past week, he was falling down a lot, complaining about headaches and dizziness, and had been noticing behavioral changes. They've been noticing changes. We knew something was not right, so we took him to the ER. Anyways, it turns out my father had a brain tumor. This was crushing news to my family. The tumor was about 6 centimeters big, which is enormous for a brain tumor. The following day, he was taken to the ICU, and the neurosurgeon did a biopsy. This is where they cut a sample of the tumor to figure out if it's cancerous or not. For those of you who don't know what it is. As the days have passed, we have visited my dad every day. He was not able to breathe on his own, so he was connected to a ventilator, which was breathing for him. Occasionally, we would wake him up because he was sedated, so the swelling in his brain would go down. To see how he was doing. They'd wake him up to see how he was doing. He was not responsive, and we thought he was brain dead. I was praying that I would at least get one more chance to talk to him again, to tell him that he was my hero, and that I loved him so much. I know where he's coming from here. I knew that this was the end, but I didn't want to believe it. You would never think that something like this could happen to you or your parents. Well, I learned that anything is possible. We waited a couple of days to see the biopsy results. And when we saw them, our hearts dropped. They figured out what kind of brain tumor it was. The tumor is called glioblastoma multiforme, which is the worst brain tumor there is, and it is cancerous. It's on the right side of his brain, which is the part where your emotions and behavior are. 1 out of 50,000 people get this rare tumor, and it is the most aggressive, and it's at stage 4, meaning that it's at the worst, that it's the worst of the worst situation for him. Anyways, the worst brain tumor and at the worst stage. There is no cure for this form of brain cancer. Since this is the most aggressive tumor, it will never go away. It will just regrow in a matter of months, as if they were to remove it. We've talked to the neurosurgeon that performed the biopsy, and he apologized for everything that we are dealing with, and he gave my dad a maximum of 6 months to live. Seeing him the way he is now, we know that he probably only has about 6 days remaining. He gave us 2 possible choices. We can have more surgery by cutting out his frontal lobe and try to temporarily shrink the size of the tumor, which is a very risky surgery, and the doctors don't even know if it would help. Being a risky procedure with an unknown result, we decided against it. The other option is just to take the breathing tube out and see what happens next. But remember, my dad could not breathe on his own. So either way, no matter what option we choose, death was ensured at the end of every one. After thinking for 3 days straight, we came to an agreement. We're just going to take out the breathing tube and see what happens. If he dies, he dies. We don't want him to suffer anymore. Yesterday, a miracle happened. He started breathing on his own. We were all shocked. We had the chance to take out the breathing tube. And we did. He was breathing on his own. He could even talk. Even though it was only murmurs because his voice was so weak. It was better than nothing. We all saw him and talked to him, and he still remembered who our family was, and he still had his old sense of humor, which was giving us some comfort, or slight comfort, but still remembering that death was soon. I couldn't believe it. My prayers had been answered. I got one more chance to talk with my dad, which was the only thing I wanted. I told him that I will always love him. He was always my favorite, and that I was proud of him. He always bragged about me, so now is my chance to brag about him. I had the most amazing father, and I told him that. We all went home happy with the results. Then today happened, which is why I'm writing this long story. I went to see him today, and he is pretty much brain dead. He only spoke a few times, but one of the last things he told me is he was proud of me, and that he loved me so much that I can never imagine. I spilled my heart out to him, and I told him he was the best father anyone could have, and that I loved him. And all these things I can say right now in this story. He maybe has a week left to live, and they are taking him to the hospice, which is a home where they give them pain relief and the utmost care all the time before people pass away. My dad went through it as well. Later on tonight, he will stay there until he dies, which should be soon, or which will be soon. I'm writing this because my dad always bragged about me. He always bragged about me and how he loved me so much and how proud he was of me. I never got the chance to brag about him, so I'm doing it now. He was my hero, my Superman, and my inspiration. He has done so much for me, and everything that he has done in his life was for me. He pretty much lived, worked, and went out of his way just for me. I can never explain how much I appreciate him, and how much he means to me, and how much I love him. He says that I could never imagine how much he loved me. Well, he could never imagine how much I love him, and he will never know. So I'm going to start concluding this. We never knew he had brain cancer, and he has been having it for 2+ years. My family and I found all this out only a few weeks ago. So it's like running into a brick wall. It all happened so suddenly. Everybody loves their parents, I know, but not everyone tells them that they love them as much as they should. Please don't take your parents for granted. You never know what could happen to them. You only realize exactly how much you love them until something like this happens. Sorry, that's the buzzer for the dryer. You only realize exactly how much you love them until something like this happens, where they are guaranteed death. Don't wait until the last minute, where they are about to die, to tell them how much you love them and care for them. Don't fight with them today, because you never know what could happen to them tomorrow. Cherish them. You only have two. Thank you guys so much for reading this, or for listening to me read it. It shows that you are true friends of mine if you made it this far. If you ever need something, let me know, and I'll do my best to do it for you. And he will. I know David, and he will. Just like how a parent would treat their kids. They would do anything for them because they love them. I think I know what he's trying to say, you guys. And in his closing words, he writes, I love you, Dad, and I know you will be with God soon. I'll meet you up there one day and talk about the memories we've had. Until then, you rest, be comfortable, and try not to suffer. Your suffering will be over soon. And he thanks everyone again. Well, sorry guys, it's pretty tough for me to read something like this because I just went through it as well recently over the summer. So I know where he's coming from. David's basically been away from YouTube because of this and because of some other issues with his dad that happened a little while back, a few months ago, which is all explained now because once they found out that he had the tumor, it explains his behavior in the past. I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say his dad wasn't exactly behaving the way he should have been, and he was getting into some trouble and stuff. But at least now they know why, and they can, and it just helps with everything. It helps in forgiving, and it helps for everything to come to full circle. I know what it's like for that. It happened with my dad and his family as well, and everything finally came, and there was acceptance and apologies and all sorts of stuff before my dad passed away. So it's fortunate, as it was for my dad, for David and his dad as well, that everything be forgiven and that their love for each other is expressed, which is very, very important. I was lucky enough to have that opportunity with my dad too before he passed, and David also got the miracle that he wanted to with his dad. He got the time to spend with him and tell him what he meant to him as well. So David, you know how I feel. If I was there, if I could give you a hug, brother, I would. Unfortunately, I can't be there. One day soon, we'll meet, have a couple of beers, and talk about our dads. Stay strong, man. You got to be there for your family. It's tough, but it's doable. I know. I've been there. It's going to be hard, but you can make it, man. Just remember that. You got friends like me and everyone else that sees this that's going to leave you the wishes, the condolences after seeing this. We're all here for you, okay? So don't forget that. All your favorite subscribers, all your friends that you've made on YouTube, like myself, and T-Bert, and whatnot, we're all here, brother. All right, so remember that. Stay strong, my friend. Anything you need, like I said on the phone, anything you need, just give me a call or text me or whatever. I'm there, okay? Anyways, guys, that's about all I have to say right now. So if you're watching this on my channel, stop by his channel. It's Begin the Uprising. I'll put an annotation here. I'll put it actually in the description box on my channel. Stop by there and give him, and show David some love, okay? I'm not sure when he'll be on to see it all, but he'll be on eventually. I will be uploading this onto his channel as well. He's entrusted me to do so. Sorry guys if I got a little broken down at times, but as you can imagine, I know exactly how David feels, and it's hard when you lose somebody like that that's that close to you. And he tells me he was quite close with his dad, as I was with mine. So I know exactly what he's feeling. sure he'll go through it. I did too. A few days, just nothing but crying. But you need to do that. You need to get that out, because it makes it so that when you're with your family, you're strong enough to show them support and love. And you'll be amazed. The people around you in your life will come around and support you. We were lucky enough to have our family, relatives, friends, even my boss from work came around. People come out of the woodwork to help, and David, I really hope and I pray that that happens with you as well. Stay strong, my friend. We've all got your back. Don't forget that. And that's it for me. Sarah 13.